Hola, I'm Apostle Maria Young with Royal Family Ministries, back to talk to you. A Word from God, Part 5. So glad you could join us again, beloved. And the word for today is pop. Pop. Write it down. Maybe you want to put it on your mirror. Maybe you want to write it and affix it next to your bed or in your car, on your school bag. Pop. Prince of Peace. That's who our Pop is. The Prince of Peace. Jesus is the Prince of Peace. We've been talking about spending that intimate time with God. And as you spend that intimate time with Him, you'll realize more and more that you build a confidence that He's with you no matter where you go. It doesn't happen in a flash. It happens the more and more you spend time with Him. That relationship builds. That confidence builds. That connection builds. And it gets stronger and stronger. And it's only going to happen when you spend that time with Pop. And He wants to be on your popularity list. Is He popular with you? Is He popular with your friends, your family? He tells us in all of our ways to acknowledge Him. Not some of them, but everything we do, we are supposed to consult Pop, the Prince of Peace. You know, Jesus' disciples were challenged. And there's a scripture that tells us in the Bible about this challenge. That's going to be a homework assignment. Find that scripture. Find out where His disciples panic with the Prince of Peace. Are you panicking? Are you getting anxious and excited when you're being attacked? Things come your way. Spend more time with Pop. Spend more time with the Prince of Peace. On this journey when the disciples panicked, got upset, and even angry with the Messiah, was on a boat. They were out on a boat. And the winds began to blow strongly. And the waves and the sea tossed. You've probably even heard that in a song. Yes, we've heard the song before. And what happens? Jesus is fast asleep, just resting because He's the Prince of Peace. He's Pop. But those disciples said, "Don't you care? Doesn't it matter to you? We're going to drown. We're all going to die." Is that how you may feel sometime in your own life? That you're just drowning in a sea of bills and drowning in a sea of problems. And you need to know that Pop is there. That's what happened to them that day, because Jesus was fast asleep. But He wants us to be who He was in the boat and not who the disciples were in the boat. Resting in Him. He said, "Come unto me, and I'll give you rest." You can rest in me from all of the sins and the cares of the world, all of your own issues, all of your own problems, addictions, things you may be facing in life. You can still rest in me. You can find that peace in me. I'll minister to you and give you joy in the midst of confusion. That's what's going to happen, beloved, when you spend that time. Remember, we talked about in Series 3, getting a candle, lighting that candle just for you and God, dedicating it to Him. Maybe you have some special music that you want to play and just meditate on the goodness of God. That's how you're going to get to know him. Another thing that those disciples were experiencing was fear. How many times have fear wrapped itself around us like a snake and squeezed us and held us back? Fear just choked us and kept us from saying things we knew we needed to say. Shackled our feet so that we wouldn't move forward. The Prince of Peace wants to free you from all of those shackles. God said he hasn't given us a spirit of fear. Fear is not of God. And just as I described it as a snake, a serpent, sometimes we need to visualize, get a visual moment to think about, what does this look like to God? Because if we see it his way, and we realize the demons and the forces in the spirit world we deal with, we will want to be free. We would desire the Prince of Peace to be there. He's already there. But if you don't know it, if you don't be conscious of it, you will be like those disciples. But Jesus got up and he quieted that storm. He said, "Peace, be still." That's what Pop can do. And he's quieting the storms around you. Sometimes we think we've done it. Sometimes we felt, I handled that. And God protected you in the midst of your battle. Especially when you put him first. He's going to always be there. And please remember, you're just getting here. You're just getting to the situation at hand. God is Alpha and Omega. He's already passed this way before. He's been here before you. God is spirit. There's nothing that can contain him, past, future, or present. Sometimes we love sci-fi and we think about the different warp movements in sci-fi movies, sci-fi books. Well, God has warped ahead. He's warped behind. He's warped right now. You're just arriving. He will never leave you nor forsake you. But ignorancy, when we don't know the truth, we don't understand we're living in a spiritual world, not just a carnal world, not just tangible things that we can touch, or smell, or see, or taste. Beloved, that's why we've been hindered from moving forward with all of the blessings and gifts that God has given to us, because we're trying to see it out here. And the greatest love is right down on the inside, waiting to come out, waiting to leap forward, waiting to shine before the whole world. That's who you are. God never made junk. He made great things. Remember that word, Pop. Don't ever let, I'm going to say this and pass it on, please. The word loser. That's a word from the pits of hell. God never made a loser. We win. I've seen the scoreboard. We win because Jesus got up with all power. We're victorious. We have Pop, our Prince of Peace. And the battle's already been fought. The victory is ours. There's no such thing as a loser. That's a demonic word to pronounce over God's people so that we can seal doom and fate over our brothers and sisters. When you spend time with God, He will even convict your heart and say, that's not something that I ever want you to say against my people, my creations. He told Peter, rise, Peter, slay and eat. And Peter said, "No, I don't eat anything common or unclean, God." It was a parable because God wanted him to go outside of his race, outside of what he thought was holy. And whatever you think is holy, or who you may think is the holiest of holies, there's only one, and through him we're all royalty. Yes, beloved, you are royalty. You are royalty, and you have your pop. Remember that. Remember that. You can feel like royalty when you spend time with the King. I love my husband. He's my number 2 man, but God is number 1, and God is his number 1. Make him first priority. Popular, P.O.P., number 1 in your life. Don't forget to write it down. Make a memo so that when things come up, you'll know you have the Prince of Peace. The battle's fought. Just whisper his name. Jesus. Powerful name. Rest and pop now. Until next time, remember, he loves you, I love you, and you are empowered with the Prince of Peace.